What is the difference between policy and energy efficiency policy? What is the difference between energy efficiency policy and investment-grade energy efficiency policy? Let's start by looking at what energy efficiency policy is, which is a set of strategies, legislation, regulations, measures, and programs that together stimulate energy efficiency improvement. Next, let's look at what an investment-grade energy efficiency policy is by starting with the exact same definition. And see that we're missing 3 words that would make it investment-grade, which is simply that investment-grade policies enable investments that stimulate energy efficiency improvement. So visually, we can see that investment-grade energy efficiency policy is a subset of energy efficiency policy. The key feature of investment-grade energy efficiency policy is that it is more focused. It's focused on a specific goal, which is to enable investment. And to deliver on that goal, to identify what the barriers are to increasing investment in energy efficiency. Oftentimes, these are not the typical energy efficiency barriers, but instead could be very specific market barriers or policy barriers. These barriers are different for each stakeholder type, so to enable investment-grade energy efficiency policy, you need to identify the specific barriers to enable investment for specific stakeholders. For example, a government purchasing office will have different barriers to investing in energy efficiency compared to a homeowner living in a multifamily building. And therefore, the investment-grade energy efficiency policy solution would be different for each. This means you have to identify what measures or policies could be used to enable investment, including measures or policies that have not been traditionally used for energy efficiency, and also identify the specific criteria for evaluating each investment-grade energy efficiency policy to identify whether it will be successful at enabling investment and overcoming the barriers for the specific stakeholders. Investment-grade energy efficiency policy can come in a number of forms. Here's one visual that shows how a project aggregator can be the missing piece that needs to be addressed by the policy. The items in blue are energy efficiency components, and the green are components where the financial institutions and investors can support increased investment in energy efficiency. And in this case, the project aggregator can provide the link between the project and the investors. Now let's see an example. In this example, this case required a new homeowners association law that enables the homeowners association to function as a governing body in apartment buildings and to become a project aggregator, to have access to credit lines, and also to fund the energy efficiency improvement. This is an example of a law that may not normally be considered to be an energy efficiency law, but it does enable energy efficiency investment in a group of housing units. Let's look at the background to the example we saw for Russia, where some key policies were managed to unlock investment for energy efficiency measures in multifamily buildings. First of all, the policies focused on a very particular context. As the great majority of the population live in multifamily buildings of similar age and condition, improving the energy efficiency of these buildings through introduction of similar kinds of measures could have a strong impact on energy consumption in the residential sector. In financial terms, this means that there was a large market for replicable retrofitting measures that improve the thermal performance of the building envelope. There are many barriers to the implementation of energy efficiency in large stocks of existing buildings. These include lack of awareness and information, high investment cost and long payback time, poor quality of the buildings, and lack of incentives. But also, in a building occupied by several families, it may be difficult to reach an agreement with stakeholders, and there may be distrust and tension between actors. But also, in a building occupied by several families, it may be difficult to reach an agreement with stakeholders, and there may be distrust and tension between actors. On the one hand, the task is very large for the government to undertake itself, but on the other hand, there are also significant barriers for the individual homeowners to take them on, especially when no particular financing is available for the purpose of energy retrofits. So how do you fund the billions of dollars needed, and who would manage the implementation of these retrofits? A new law was implemented, whereby homeowners would be required to pay a monthly fee, destined to support investment in building retrofits. This fund would be managed by the government or a homeowners association, and would enable loans to be financed for building refurbishment projects. A new system for facilitating building retrofits has been put in place with the supporting laws and regulations. Mandatory payments for multifamily building renovation have been introduced by law. Homeowners make regular monthly payments for their building retrofits of 15 cents per square meter per month, average mandatory payment in US dollars, and $8.5 billion US dollars collected over the period 2014 to 2018. Homeowners can choose to contribute their payments to either a collective savings scheme managed by the government or a special savings account managed by a building's homeowners association. These special savings accounts enable loan financing for building renovation, and these reforms have enabled improvement in both awareness and access to funding for energy efficiency.